Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and I am once again experimenting with my settings. If you've been following this tale, I've been recording with my monitor zoomed in, which makes cards grainy, but then I tried to record it at its native settings and the cards were too small to read. And I've changed my monitor and recording settings to record at a resolution that is not native to my monitor, but also doesn't require zooming in. Trying to find that middle ground for everybody. As always, patient feedback appreciated. So of course, the first day with the new settings, I record a Yorion deck where all the cards are small and hard to read anyway. But that's where we are. This is Yorion LeoPile. This is a deck from Patreon subscriber Leo, who is known around our Discord community for playing Grixis Yorion. Has been working on this deck for years. I've played it a number of times. I think I trophied with it once, if memory serves. And this is just your classic Grixis control deck. We've got some counter spells, a lot of removal spells, some discard spells, and then some planeswalkers and stuff that can win the game. This particular build is heavy on the Hullbreacher stuff. 3 Narsets, 4 Hullbreachers. We got Days Undoing to steal your opponent's hand, turn it into treasures. And Dak Vaden. Target player draws 2, discards 2. With a Hullbreacher, this reads, target player discards 2, and you make 2 treasures. With a Narset, this is target player draws 1, discards 2. That is a long-term engine. You'll eventually get a hand empty with that. Prismari Command even has a mode that's target player draws 2, discards 2, if you need a little action off a Hullbreacher. There's a lot going on with these can't draw cards effects in this build. The real challenge in Grixis deck building is always the balance of removal spells, because between red and black, you get most removal spells, other than Swords of Plowshares, which is the one we really miss. But red and black historically are the colors of removal. Lightning Bolt's a 4 of, and then there's some amount of Edicts in the deck, 2 Shouldreds, 2 Suddens. With a Yorion deck, I think you have room to mess around with multiple different ones. I think Shouldred's Edict has generally settled as a more versatile and powerful card in Legacy, but sometimes you need it to be uncounterable. We got a little of each here. And very interesting decision here from Leo is playing 2 copies of Anoint with Affliction and 0 copies of Fatal Push. Fatal Push is usually the card Grixis players use to destroy small creatures. Anoint with Affliction exiles, though. That's the difference. Fatal Push can get up to 4. It always gets 2. It can get up to 4. Anointed with Affliction always gets 3 or less. The Corrupted part of this, if the player has 3 poison counters, you can exile any creature, but we don't actually have a way to poison opponents. I assume that this is just a removal spell that has Uro in mind, specifically, because Grixis, historically, is pretty bad against Uro as a card, because when you discard and kill it with black discard and black and red removal, it just comes back eventually. Exiling it is pretty important. A lot of people have solved this with, I am brain farting on the name of it, but it's the 1-mana black instant from Theros Beyond Death that exiles a card, and then you draw a card or gain life, depending on what the card type was. We saw that in my league with James Kiasu a couple weeks ago. Anoint with Affliction kills Delver, though, kills Dragon's Rage Channeler, which Graveyard Hate does not do. I got my eye on this one. I am wondering if the exile is better than Fatal Push on average if we can't actually poison our opponent. But it's here in the deck. I'm rocking it. And everything else is just planeswalkers or sagas that gain advantage over multiple turns as the game goes longer and longer. And that's the Grixis life. With Yorion in the command zone, we always have something we can grab. We always have a blue card for force we can reach for if we need that. 8 mana, 4/5. Flickering Baleful Strix, draw some cards. You can reset planeswalkers that have ticked down, like Narset, who only goes down, she never goes up. Narset can bring her back up. Fury, Fable. There's some cool stuff to blink in here. And that's the deck. Let's jump into it. This is LeoPile. I'm on the play with what I pretty much consider to be the Grixis nut draw. I can Thoughtseize them on turn 1 and then do stuff after that. I'm ready. In a little bit of trouble to a Wasteland. I could fetch Basic Swamp but the volcanic island will be exposed to wasteland eventually anyway. So I'm just going to try to have stable mana here. See what they got for me. Wasteland confirmed. We've got Dragon's Rage Channeler, Murktide, 2 Ponders. I think I'm actually worried about Murktide the most here. My Lightning Bolt can kill the DRC, and so can Orcish Bowmaster. If they don't wasteland me right away, if they try to get on board, this Bowmaster clips the DRC and then eats all the Ponders. Okay, went straight for the wasteland. Fair enough. Now I need to find some lands. It's all good. Volcanic Island pass. One thing to point out here is if I had fetched Basic Swamp, they probably would have played Dragon's Rage Channeler. Then I get to Bowmaster it. Then they wasteland me off blue and red the turn after that. I could have done something this turn, but I think it undermines my long-term game plan worse than if I just fetch the Basic Swamp there. Bolt this. Come on, fetch land. Okay, Ponder. Ponder fixes everything. Come on, 3 lands on top of the deck. I'll start with 1, that's fine. Don't shuffle, play the Underground Sea. I'm gonna miss my land drop next turn, but I can Bowmaster with Force backup, or Strix. Oh yeah. There's a Delver. I can ping that off with Bowmaster, and I know they have at least 1 more cantrip in their hand. And then I can pitch Narset to force if they fight over this. Not having Strix to dig through the next card of this Brainstorm block and maybe find a land is a little disappointing. But killing this Delver and floating this permanent in play that I know pressures their hand, that's better than playing Strix, I think. Okay, another land that is not Wasteland. And they didn't even cast the Ponder. They just said, no thank you. An attack with my creatures. And they could have their own Bowmaster. We haven't seen a 3rd color yet. I might have my land drop right now of Baleful Strix. Seeking the Beast. That's how they're doing this. I think that's fine. Questing Druid, Mishra's Bauble, exiled. Okay, they're not going to have Bowmaster. There are some 4-color decks, but they've generally settled down to 3 and sometimes like 2.25 colors. In the case of the Juju, is it deck that plays 1 tropical island? Hitotsuku consumes all. Okay. That one's not super good on this board. Also another 3-drop in my hand. That Mishra's Bauble sucks though. This Ponder sucks though. I have Questing Druid under control with Baleful Strix and Lightning Bolt. I'm gonna hold on to this force as long as I can. Something like Murktide Regent is what I want to Force of Will in this matchup. Okay, another main phase Seek the Beast, Brainstorm Pluto Delta. This was rough. They didn't want to cast the Bauble, and they definitely don't want to cast this Brainstorm if they can avoid it. Okay, sending it on the Ponder. Probably looking for a Lightning Bolt to finish off this Bowmaster so they can start bobbling. This Bowmaster is causing trouble, though. They did not shuffle. Dang ya. And if they fetch the 4th bulk here, then they don't have green for all these Druids. Is this a place I want to invest a Force of Will? I think it is. I really wanted to save that for a Murktide Regent, but they got this Bauble chillin'. These Questing Druids are not that good. Okay, Force pitching Force, sure. Everybody's cool on the final exchange for that. The Bauble does get to farm here. Oh, they had another one in their hand. Okay, I understand why they wanted to fight over that so hard. That was a nasty Bowmaster. They bobbled me twice, just firing them off, playing around the next Bowmaster. Flash it in right now. JK, I wish. They're back to 2 cards in hand. Force of Will in mine. And not having land 3 is tough. Lightning Bolt, Baleful Strix can answer the 2 Questing Druids if they can even cast them. I can force a Murktide Regent. I'm a little worried about just Wasteland and then stabilization over multiple turns after that. They did find the green. They have a Questing Druid. They have a Brainstorm, which grows the Questing Druid. I'm going to wait until the end of their turn to bolt, or at least until they pass priority again, because if they play Murktide, that's a different card. What am I even talking about? Force blue card is for the Murktide. Lightning Bolt's for the Questing Druid. Okay, they are passing. If this thing's a 2-2, okay, I will bolt it. If they have like Brainstorm plus Lightning Bolt in their hand, they can save this while doing everything they wanted to do anyway. There was some temptation to just attack first, see if they block their 2-2 on my 2-2, but with them at 9 life, I think they just take the trade. and any spell they have just blows me out. No thanks on that. I believe I want to put Yorion in my hand here. So Narset, if Narset resolves, she might find another blue card. All right, I'm going to play Narset. She's in there. User. Complete whiff. Disappointing. All right, I don't have Force Blue card. I do have Narset, who is kind of a lock piece. And they brainstormed last turn and didn't have a shuffle available. The worst case scenario is they just shove a Murktide here. Or waste me off black. And that's annoying too. But it's not the worst case scenario. Delver. Okay. Alright, now this got interesting again. Narset, full bricking. Never what you want to see. Oh, geez. Come on, deck. Brainstorm. I'll cast that. Try to find some lands. Okay, bunch of lands. I don't think that Hidetsugu is going to consume in this game. And I would like multiple lands. And I think I just parked the bus here. I have no tricks if they just, like, cast Lightning Bolt and their Druid gets bigger than mine. Delver. They should know the top of their deck here. Delver did not flip. A land. Okay. They have a lot of mana-producing lands in play already. If they don't play a Mystic Sanctuary, they might be... Or they usually have a basic. Some builds have 2 Trops. Alright, yeah, they're probably not out of fetches. Or fetchables. I'm going to fetch for bad lands. And then send it on the Day's Undoing. I could also deal 2 to Delver, make them discard a card. If their card in hand is Force of Will, it's good to get rid of that. Alright, yeah, I'm actually going to do this. Target player discards a card, 2 to any target. You discard 2 to Delver. If this just works, I can attack for 3. Wait, their card in hand was Lightning Bolt and they didn't cast it? That's awkward. What just happened? They just whoopsied right through it. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Cards that I like. I like Flusterstorm, I like Blue Blast, I like Red Blast. I don't like Plague Engineer, but it's not without text. Especially against the Questioning Druid build, where 1/1s for 1, or 1/1 humans, or various mana costs are a big part of their deck. Force Negation sucks. Blood Moon is always such a maybe against Delver, because there are boards where it just locks them out. There's also boards where it does basically nothing. They do have a bunch of red cards in their deck. They do usually play a basic island. Sometimes they even play Blood Moon themselves. I'm probably not bringing in Blood Moon. I could cut all the Force of Wills and just turn it all into 1-for-1 stuff and play to the board. Getting rid of all my Force of Wills is weak against stuff like Price of Progress or Maddening Hex, or trying to shove through a Day's Undoing. Maybe I go down 1 Day's Undoing too. Like, that card is really bad to draw if you're not set up, and all of my setups die to Lightning Bolt or Pyroblast. I think I like Ashiok Game Ender in here too. Graveyard Hate matters, they search their deck a lot. Not enough to bring an opposition agent though, I don't think. From the Catacombs, they're an attacking creature deck, I don't really want to introduce the initiative. This is what I'm doing. A Ponder, Strix off basic lands, and then a bunch of 3-drops. Bunch of 3-drop Haymakers. No removal though, unless we count Strix as removal, which is generous. But it is a relevant object, even if it's not actually a removal spell. It will make them have a removal or counter spell, so it doesn't become a removal spell. I love when Delver ponders on turn 1 instead of playing a threat. They did not shuffle. We're in kind of a cool spot to play on these basic lands because their wastelands were really good last game, and they might have kept a hand or kept a ponder, prioritizing something that's not going to be good this game. I do have to shuffle this Brainstorm. Okay, so if I play Strix next turn, I draw Brainstorm for turn, Strix draws Lightning Bolt, and then I can play Brainstorm. I don't like this. I'm just going to shuffle it. That doesn't get through the pile fast enough for me. It doesn't cast that. If I could cast that Lightning Bolt, if I just had a Scalding Tarn in my hand, I would have kept that. But Mystic Sanctuary, too bad. Volcanic Island. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Bauble. Spinning Lightning Bolt. Okay, they are 3/4 of the way to Delirium here. Ponder. Right? Is there a land on top? There's not. Okay. Still 3/4 of the way to Delirium. Did not shuffle their Ponder. Have not used their Bauble. I did find land number 3. It's still a black land, but currently my hand is just blue-black. Strix resolved without a fight. That's great. Right, now they're bobbling. Baleful Strix resolving is always such a joy. Now they have to, it has replaced itself by drawing a card, and now they have to spend a card to remove it. Whether by firing a creature into it, or bolting it, or pyroblasting it, or whatever. Another casualty of Orcish Bowmaster's metagame. One of the finest Magic cards there is. I actually know the owner of this original art. A beautiful piece. Brainstorm. Boy, do I wish I had Orcish Bowmaster in my hand instead of this Baleful Strix last turn. Kill the DRC, eat this Brainstorm. Life is good. They did make their land drop before brainstorming, though. Now they can't fetch and get Delirium easily, or fetch and get rid of their bad brainstorm cards easily. They could put a fetch on top of their deck and bolt my Strix and getting Delirium. Like, there's plenty of things they could do here. It's just, I'm not going to daze you, is my point. And they are keeping their cards on top. Okay, never mind. What? Oh no, this bauble went into the graveyard off the first one? Okay, yeah, I missed it. I thought they kept one and then milled the second. Or kept it once, then milled it the second time. That's not actually what happened, though. We're all good. I'm caught up. Well, there's Bowmaster. A little late. I kind of want to high roll on a Hullbreacher situation here. Like, just try to make them dead. I could Children's Edict, but I don't have a plan for the second DRC. But I do have 2 Hullbreachers. And if they ponder, I just get a bunch of mana out of it. Or a mana out of it. If they brainstorm and they can't counter the Hullbreacher, they lose. Okay, Delver leaving up all their mana is horrifying. I'm still going to send it. Pyroblast, okay. They had that. And now they know about Hullbreacher for game 3. This is a spot where I very much wish that Fatal Push was in the deck. So there's basically like no outs that I'm drawing to here that I'm happy about. Okay, I'm going to pass. Now that the Hullbreacher didn't stick, I have to pivot onto removing their idiots. Sacrifice a non-token creature, please. Brainstorm in response. The problem, I thought about leaving a Bowmaster in case they cast Brainstorm, but the problem with that is if they just don't cast Brainstorm and move to combat, Bowmaster is a brick, and I'm at 4. Drawing a land last turn would have been great, so I could do both, which might actually remove both their creatures here. As always, though, when you lose to Delver, it's because you can't cast enough spells in a turn. And they kept their card off all their surveils when they brainstormed. They liked the top card of their deck. They just surveilled away a Daze. They didn't like that one. I would expect them to have a Piece of Interaction or a Murktide region here. Maybe just like a Delver, maybe just another different threat, but Murktide is the one that is most horrifying to me. And they are, in fact, fetching land number 2. Okay. It's not a Murktide. Good news, everybody. Did not shuffle. Bad news. Okay. Deck full of removal. Can I draw one? I can get basic Mountain now. And I can play around Daze a little bit. Alright. I'm going to pass into their turn. I'm going to go for Hullbreacher Undoing this turn cycle. It's probably not going to work, but that's what I'm going to try to do. If they cast Brainstorm, I'll try to Bowmaster it instead. Cracking this fetch is dangerous because that puts me into bolt range. Murktide Regent, that's a big one. End of turn, Hullbreacher. And the big twist here is that even if this all works, I have to draw 2 instants that kill their creatures to cast with my 7 treasures. Like, this isn't even just GG. Okay, send it. Unholy Heat. Okay, I've lost. Yeah, that's why I don't like that plan against Delver and why I boarded down on it a little bit. That's just not the half of the deck that's important. You need to win the game somehow. You can't like cut all of these, but that same game with a castable Lightning Bolt instead of a handful of Hullbreachers would have been stable and comfortable and gone on a lot longer. Okay, game 3. I am going to keep. This has stuff to do on low mana values. I could pitch this Hidetsugu Consumes All to Fury early if I need to do that. I am worried about my mana. I would love a fetchable black access to Swamp this turn. That would be great. Delverino. Okay, I'm going to go to my turn. Basic Swamp, heck yeah. Easy game. Now I have a choice of shoving Bowmaster into Force. I think that's powerful enough that I just do it. They Force, they Daze. Okay. If they've cut any number of Forces and Dazes in favor of Pyroblast kind of stuff, I'm going to get a good exchange here. Right in. Nice. Okay, cool. And now I just have Game Ender and Hidetsugu Consumes All and just stuff I can cast. They clearly don't have Force or Daze, or I think they make that exchange. Okay, I can get a basic island here. I'm just going to attack first and see what they want to say about it. I feel like they have a Seek the Beast here, though Pyroblast is live if I go for Game Ender. The problem with Consumes All is that it kills my Orc army and 0 of their permanents. This is not good when it's suspend 1 Tormod script, suspend 2 3/3 creature. You really do want the Pernicious Deed aspect of it. I'm going to fetch an island and just start testing their interaction here. Were you holding a Pyroblast the whole time? What's going on here? Is this just a Seek the Beast? Fetch in response makes me think it's Seek. Yeah, okay. Seek flipped Force. If they have a blue card in their hand, they can force this. That was actually a good Seek. And Force exiling Brainstorm. Okay. My read was right that they didn't have Force, but they did have a way to find one. And now there's a castable Murktide. Disappointing. I guess they need one more card for it to be castable. If they don't have a fetch land here, I might get away with murder. Bummer. I got a deck full of Edicts and Pyroblast, though. And Baleful Strixes. There's game to play. There's the Murktide. That was a full value questing Druid. Oh, this Fury kills the Murktide. They left it at 4/4. That's as big as they could get it. I'm going to start with Brainstorm here and see what I can shake loose. Hullbreacher, basic mountain. Okay, I don't need the Badlands anymore. Or if I use Badlands to cast Consume All this turn, I can also attack with Orc Army. And if they block with Murktide, I can 2 for 2, pitch Fury, kill both their things, and then also cast Hullbreacher. Wow, okay. If they don't take the bait on that, I want double red for next turn, which, yeah, I'm actually going to put back Vista Mire here. And I'm going to attack with just Orc Army token. Because if they block with Murktide, I'm going to pitch Fury and kill their whole board. Or I could just do what I want to do anyway, which is, okay, I think even if they did block, playing Consume this turn to kill the Delver, and then Fury next turn. If they play a spell this turn, though, and I exile all graveyards, then Murktide will be bigger than Fury. I might have messed that up. Let's see what happens. Tropical Island. Questing Druid. So a cantrip feeds Bowmaster. If they've been sitting on a Bolt or just drew a Bolt, that's really good for them. If they didn't do any of those things, my plan is still alive. They could also just Pyroblast nothing, but they'd have to be thinking about Fury specifically to throw a spell in the graveyard for no real gain, just to grow their Murktide. Okay, we're in my main phase. The Exile All Graveyards is on the stack. Cool. I don't love shoving this hard into Daze, but they haven't had a Daze before. They might still have Pyroblast, which Fury does not care about. And they just packed it. Okay. Basically played this whole game off the read when my Bowmaster resolved without a fight that they don't have any free permission, and then I just played my best spell each turn. And they did flip the Force off the Questing Druid, but otherwise, my card's just resolved. Cool. On to the next round. Delver in the garbage. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. On the draw for round 2, I'm going to have to mulligan this one. I don't trust a single land, and there's no ponder here. Yeah, okay. Keep this one, bottom of Volk. Lands and spells, let's go. A Misty Rainforest from the opponent. A Lightning Bolt for me. Fetching a Volk in the end step. Cycling Lorien revealed. Okay. What are we doing over there? This deck is set up pretty savagely against Beanstalk decks. I mean, if our Hullbreacher doesn't stick, they just bury us, but if that is what's going on over there, Hullbreacher's got a lot of text. Those draws are not optional. Oh, it's rhinoceroses. Alright, I'm gonna brainstorm off the land they're about to tap. Uh-oh. I'm suddenly concerned. This has been a common thread of recent matches that I've played in Legacy, where I'm like, oh, my opponent's just setting up over there, feeling good. Oh no, it's rhinos. I hope they don't have Tishana's Tidebinder for my fetch land here. I'm gonna get another Volk because Bolt does answer a rhino, even though I'm not happy about it. Oh, Hitotsugo consumes all the rhinos. Okay. I have a plan to not die instantly. I can double bolt one of these rhinoceroses, and then if they fight over that, that's a thing they don't have to fight over, consume. Okay, the rhino resolves. I'm just going to try to double bolt one of them right now. Oh shit, this was so bad. They also play Minskin Boo, which I'm way more worried about. Oh no. I've already committed one bolt though. Bolt does beat Minskin Boo cleanly. Okay, they spent a force on it. That's great. It's a 2 for 2, which I'm not happy about, but it is a force out of their hand for my actual sweeper. Okay, they didn't have Minskin Boo. Their force pitched Brazen Borrower. Baleful Strix, not really who I'm looking for here. Underground Sea, consume. I'm prepared to concede to a Force of Will here. This deck has so much free permission. Even a hard cast Mystical Dispute, just cancel this. Tishana's Tidebinder, freezing it would be bad. A second can of Rhino is also bad. Just everything's bad. This is the worst thing. Oh no, Brazen Borrower. I don't care. Cool. Alright, I saw 3 damage, or 3 men in their end step, and just feared the worst. Oh no, now they're fetching lane number 4. Did they draw the Minskin Boo? Card they didn't have last turn, and now they do. Sure, okay, fine! Alright, yep, that was a little too much. This deck is relentless, and I am a deck that wants to slow the game down, and they're a deck that's trying to get the game over. Flusterstorms come in here. I am not a believer in surgical extraction for this. I could see a world where we let them rhino once, and then we exile the rhinos, and then they have to have a bunch of like bad cascade cards in their deck that I don't care about. The problem is I have to have access to surgical extraction immediately after stabilizing against the first rhinos. Because if they get a second round of rhinos up before I can surgical, then this card is bad, and it's never going to work. Okay, once again, I think Days Undoing is mid. I actually think Hullbreacher is pretty mid too. It's just smaller than their creatures, and their deck only has 1 card draw spell, and it's Lorien Revealed, which doesn't come up until way later. Ashiok Game Ender. No, I can't accelerate Ashiok fast enough to stuff their fetch lands and stop their development. That's not a thing. Catacombs is not for this matchup. Maybe I want Red Blast as just counterplay. Their important cards are not red, or not blue, but their protection for their important cards is blue. Master is underwhelming for the same reasons that Hullbreacher is. Do I want these surgicals? I mean, I don't. I actively don't want them, but I think it just might be correct to have them. Because cutting out that win con makes their deck really mopey. I can beat Brazen Borrowers. I can't beat 3 mana 8 power. Both Autsies that I play and Force Blue card in a 1-lander that doesn't cast Autsies. The Hitotsugo consumes. This was almost it. Gonna mulligan. Blue Blast counters Minskin Boo. Sudden Edict plus Fury does answer a Rhino. Okay, I'll try it. Now bottom Misty Rainforest. That's the worst fetch that I have. Play my fetch and pass. And what a heartbreaker that first hand. If that Anoint with Affliction was just Underground Sea or fetch land, or if that Volk was Underground Sea, I would have kept the hand there. Cycling Lorien. Picked up a Red Blast. That is something that is pitchable to Fury. They suspended a Footfalls on slow mode. Brainstorm, that's a good one. Trying to decide if there are reasons to brainstorm now versus waiting. Thoughtseize is in my deck, Baleful Strix is in my deck. They can Mystical Dispute. I can Red Blast it. Alright, I'll brainstorm. Flusterstorm was a great find. Mystic Sanctuary. I could put back Edict Red Blast. Okay, if I put back Edict Red Blast, then I play Mystic Sanctuary tapped. I can fetch Volcanic Island that casts Flusterstorm. And Red Blast supports my Blue Blast to fight over Minsk and Boo. Yeah, I think playing this Sanctuary tapped is somehow the best long-term plan. Sometimes you just draw this card, and then you have it. You gotta do something about it. Luckily, Flusterstorm is amazing against their deck. Do I want to draw Red Blast? I think I do. I don't want to draw Edict because I hope I don't need it. Ponder. Bowmaster, Prismari Command, Edict. Bowmaster is a threat I can add to the board here. It's pretty underwhelming in the matchup. I will keep it, though, because I have to reduce my opponent's life total to 0 at some point to win the game. Okay, we're getting a Cascade here. Revealed a lot of cards. Let's look at them. Magus of the Moon in your deck. Okay. I see one Minsk and Boo in this million cards that were just revealed. Endurance, okay. Okay, I'm gonna fluster the Footfalls. I was hoping they would have a main phase effect of some kind that I could play Bowmaster, and then if they fight over Bowmaster, I could fluster both their Counterspell and their Crashing Footfalls, but by doing that now, I would tap out of answers to Minsk and Boo, which is unacceptable, because that card kills me dead. I'm going to fetch for Volcanic Island in my upkeep. I don't want the cards that are on top of my deck. I know that. I do like red mana. Hey, okay, let's see if the tech pays off. I'm going to stop in their draw step, or hopefully they just fire a Cascade spell in the end step, and now I can preemptively counter the Footfalls by having them Cascade and show me their whole deck, but not actually get anything. Oh, this is even better. Brazen Borrower resolves. And then I'm going to Surgical your Footfalls, which lets me look at your hand to know if Bowmaster's in the clear as well. I can Red Blast a Force. Force of Negation, Minsk and Boo. Okay, well, and let's look at the plan. There are 2 Magus of the Moon, 4 Endurance, 2 more Brazen Borrowers in here. That can win the game. I can Blue Blast this Minsk and Boo and they can't answer it. Yeah, actual win cons. Things with power and toughness. Shardless Agent, Minsk and Boo, Magus of the Moon, Endurance, Brazen Borrower. They still have quite a few threats, actually. Okay, that resolves. And now I know your hand does not interact with what I'm doing. I'm going to ping the Brazen Borrower. And then I can Blue Blast the Minsk and Boo on the stack. And even if they draw Force of Will, I can Red Blast that. Blue Elemental Blast on this red card that you played. Fetching in response. What the hell is this? Oh no, they drew Mystical Dispute. No, it's fine. Red Blast handles it. Wow, they probably thought that was a good draw. But I have everything covered. That actually was an insane draw. Probably one of the best draws in the deck. Okay, now I can cast Fury with this Prismatic Vista, which stabilizes against the remaining Rhinos because it just kills one of them on ETB, and then it beats the other one in combat, or trades with it. And if they fart around too long, I can just Yorion to flicker the Fury and kill the last remaining Rhino. With the Endurances in their deck, they can actually shuffle this last Crashing Footfalls back in and Cascade one more time. That's a little annoying. Oh, Force of Will backup for the Fury. Get my Mountain. Send this big guy in there. Hope that they just bricked. Cool. Rhino down. No attacks. Hang on to this Yorion. Icing the Fury is fine. Take 1. Yeah, I don't think I was going to block that anyway because the Yorion is such a beating. I'd rather just attack with everything I have. That is bad against Endurance, though. And now they have 2 unknowns. I'm actually just going to attack with Orc Army. I guess Bowmaster is fine, too, because they don't do that much card draw. Okay, they had just nothing there. Okay, Yorion, show me what you got. Please resolve. Looks like they have a Force of Will. Disappointing. Okay, fine. I'm still currently winning the race. Deck full of removal. Can I have some? I can also just trade with this. I think rather than trying to race this thing, I did the Surgical Extraction plan to remove their Rhinos from the game plan. And if I can just take 1 damage and kill a Rhino, I think that's fine. Magus of the Moon with with a board full of non-basics is cool. I can't cast this Force, though. Okay, they're just snapping off a trade with Orc army, that's fair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. I can't pay for Mystical Dispute anyway if I play my land drop, so I'll just hold it for Brainstorm. Okay, now we're in the draw go game. I'm extremely concerned about them drawing an Endurance and just stabilizing. And this double force of negation in their hand has been there for so long that we got to ignore it for a while, but not anymore. Now it's very good. Okay, if I force this, I can do it right now while they only have 2 mana available. It'll at least cost them 2 cards to force a negation. Yep, that's fine. Okay, Brazen Bee's in. Got a Hymn to Turok in exchange for a Brazen Borrower there. They can't cast Lorien Revealed. Fire stabilizes here. Come on, deck full of removal. Hey, removal spell. I think I want to go in their upkeep. They deal 2 to any target, and I would like to draw 2, discard 2. I can pay for Dispute. They have Force of Will. It's whatever. Or third Force Negation, sure. That works too. Let's keep it coming, deck. Give me some action. Lightning Bolt. I'm just casting it right the heck now. I want to know what's going on. It's gone. Before they can untap and hardcast a force of any variety. At 5, shields down to Minsc and Boo. They got 1 more of those in the deck. Oh, did I speak it into existence? Oh, Shardless Agent. Gonna cascade into nothing. They're just gonna show me their deck. But they do have the biggest creature on the board now. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the endurances are there. Minsc and Boo still there. Okay. If I had taken a screenshot when I surgicaled, I could deduce their hand right now, but I'm not that much of a sicko. Okay, Ponder. Find me some action. Dak Vaden. Steal your artifact. Hullbreacher, Brainstorm, Shieldred's Edict. Are these cards actually good? I mean, Brainstorm can turn my hand into Hullbreacher plus Shieldred's Edict, so yeah, I'll rock with it. Been sitting on this land for thousands of years, looking for a Brainstorm to turn it into something. Get these out of here. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Just keep pushing damage. Keep pushing damage. Oh, I'm fired. Disappointing. Okay, right now, though, while they are tapped out of Mystical Dispute, I'm just going to cast this Hullbreacher. Maybe I'm supposed to save that to snipe a Lorien Revealed, but then that turns on all their counter spells too. Wasteland, 1, 2, 3 of those. Okay, they just drew that. I'm going to start checking off cards from their deck as they draw them. Fable, pretty good. I am reasonably confident they drew that Wasteland this turn, so I'm going to attack into Endurance fearlessly. Yep. Got in there. Fable. Game-breaking effect when nothing else is going on. Okay. We're getting close. Almost at the finish line. Minsc and Boo. Big problem. Endurance, small problem. Those are the cards I'm worried about. We did it. Okay. Okay, that Surgical Extraction was, like, fine. Maybe their hand at the end of the game was 2 Violent Outbursts that they just couldn't use. I think my deck is still the configuration that I believe to be best given the tools that I have. I could bring in Plague Engineer just as a Death Touch creature that trades with a Rhino. Oppo Agent could get some value. If we get scrappy like that, then just eating a fetch land while adding to the board is not nothing. Plague Engineer on Rhino makes Lightning Bolt an effective removal spell. Plague Engineer on Hamster is another brick for Minsc and Boo. Maybe I do want Plague Engineer. And I can lose another Bowmaster, though it did kill that Brazen Borrower. That was a big deal. A Lightning Bolt, perhaps? Though I just said keep in Bowmaster because it killed Brazen Borrower. Then I would board out a card that kills Brazen Borrower and Minsc and Boo. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, trying it like this. Show me a hand with Flusterstorms in it. And lands to cast them. And lands to cast them. I said it. Counterspell. I'll keep this. If they just fire it off Spirit Guides, though. I mean, I wasn't specifically looking for them, but I haven't seen any Spirit Guides in their Cascades or in their gameplay yet. I don't think. Fury's great. That's an answer to 1 Rhino. They have another land. I have a Surgical now. Okay. Well, this plan is online. If they fire a Cascade, my counterspell works, then they don't get Rhinos the rest of the game. Oh no! I played into that. I think I actually should Brainstorm here. I'm going to be trying to hold up mana for the next several turns, and if I can Get something moving here. Mystical Dispute. Okay, sure. That's a counterspell they don't have now. Deal. Unfazed. In my lane, moisturized. Hitting my land drops. It's like they didn't wasteland me at all. I can't slam this Narset yet. Though Narset plus DAC is a long-term game plan. Reason B. Okay, that dies to Lightning Bolt. Also dies to Fury. Let's see how much I care about any of it. Yeah, I will bolt this. And I think I do get Basic Mountain. I am a little worried about Wasteland, honestly. The second one. Force of Negation. Interesting. I could counterspell this and just stabilize the board, slam Narset. This is weird. It's not really the fight I was looking for in this matchup, but it's not the fight I expected them to present me with either. Narset. Force pitching Fire Ice. Okay. Opponent's got one card left in their hand. Suspended a Crashing Footfall. Okay. That was very clearly the card they just drew. Now I have a big moment here. I can play this deck and say you don't have it, or I can surgical their Mystical Disputes and know that they don't have it. Yeah, interesting. I mean, am I willing to play DAC to get their hand empty if Mystical Dispute is the last card in their hand? Let's try it. Okay, I had the opportunity there and determined to do this instead. That's okay, because now they are all the way empty. I can still reach for Yorion. I can hardcast Fury if they make Rhinos right now. They don't even want my Mystic Sanctuary. They think they could get a better land than that. They're probably right. Basic Swamp. Get wrecked. They're putting Yorion in my hand. Yeah, if they waste me, they can't top deck Minsc and Boo. That matters a lot. They have no cards in their hand. And I have Dak Faden. Cool. I'm actually going to do the unpopular, but it works. Dak Faden, mill you for 2. Shardless Agent. That's not the surgical target I'm looking for. I very much want to take all the Rhinos. And turn after this turn, there will be Rhinos in there for me to take. Now they're holding back a card. I don't know if that's just to insulate against Dak or if their card's actually good or they just couldn't play it. I can target myself now. I don't really need this land. Target me with Dak now. Lightning Bolt, Anoint with Affliction. I think it's land Lightning Bolt. Yeah, those are out of here. I'm going to set a stop in their draw step. Because Crashing Footfalls comes off in Upkeep. Oh, Endurance. Sure. That's fine. Who are we targeting? Targeting yourself. All your cards are back in there. Now I actually have an interesting choice to make. It's not interesting to anoint the Endurance that's happening. But Upkeep or Draw Step. And I think it's actually Upkeep. Surgicling in their Draw Step gives them a chance to draw a Crashing Footfalls that I can take for free. But it also gives them a chance to draw a Violent Outburst that they can cast and get more Rhinos. I do have another Basic Swamp. I'm going to fetch that and hard cast. Oh, wait, no. I blew it. Oh, no. I actually needed this red source to cast Fury. Shit. I thought it was going to be smart and save damage, but in fact, I am a fool. And now might lose my stabilization to Wasteland. Okay, now I can fetch bad lands and hope they don't waste me. So what are they holding on to at this point? With the Wasteland, they have 5. Because drawing Lorien reveals a big hit. I didn't need to do this at all. Like, I can wait until the Cascade spell's on the stack to surgical. Yeah, this is just a disaster all around. It wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the Wasteland. Yeah, I'm still going to get the Badlands, though. Okay, at this point, I'm committed. Has anything changed? The Magus of the Moons are out. Brotherhood's End is in. Okay, I'm not happy with that turn. That was not good. If they don't waste me, though, a reason they wouldn't waste me is if they want to hardcast Force, which also answers their problem. Okay, I'm going to brainstorm first and see if they want to force that. I don't know why they would, but if they're in kind of a mode of, like, fight over anything, hell yeah, we got them. Oh, it was that Force. Even better. I can mill them for 2 with Dak again. Got him. Lorien revealed, Brazen Borrower in the graveyard. Hardcast Fury, because they didn't waste me. Okay. We're back in business here. And they conceded. That was a weird last turn. Like, not using your Wasteland. On the one hand, they know my deck has Fury in it. On the other hand, they know their deck has Lorien revealed and Force of Will in it. Like 5 mana does matter, especially if you can't Rhino anymore. That was just... I'm not happy with my sequencing on that Surgical Extraction. Luckily unpunished, but that could have been done a lot better. On to the next round. The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order, only at coalesceapparel.shop. I'm on the draw for round 3. Very happy with my hand. I can get all basics if I need to. I can interact on 1, cantrip on 2, Planeswalker on 3, win the game on 4. It's all right in front of us. What could go wrong? Certainly my opponent will do nothing to disrupt me. Oh no. What if Foothills Chrome Mox? What deck has both of these cards? Is it the Epic Storm? Could be some sort of multicolor initiative deck. Okay. Multicolor initiative deck confirmed. Broadside Bombardiers under the Chrome Mox. I'm happy to see this card go, because I can never beat it, but I'm scared that it was not the best red card in their hand. Uh-oh. Multiple Spirit Guides, or 1 Spirit Guide pitched, 3 mana in the pool. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is here. Okay, I mean, that's pretty good. I am just going to fetch... I'm going to play Misty Rainforest and pass here, I think. Because with Broadside Bombardiers in the hand, they clearly have haste creatures that are worth killing in their deck that might be better than Goblin Shaman. And if they can loot, like they might loot differently thinking they're going to get a treasure. They just looted away Ancient Tomb. I hope they need that mana. I'm going to fetch Volcanic Island because if they Blood Moon me, I'll have mountains anyway. Might as well get a duel here. Let's see the follow-up. Blood Moon, cool. Alright, well, I could not play around that on this time frame and kill the homie. Now I just have to hope that I draw my basics in any sort of reasonable time frame. Drawing the second bolt out of my 80-card deck was kind of a gift. And Chalice of the Void, just slightly too late here, but I mean, I'm behind. They're top decking with 4 red mana. I'm top decking with 3 red mana, but their deck is red, and mine mostly isn't. Oh, if I draw my own Fable here, the one of. What an insult. The basic mountain. Come on, deck. I should have been more specific. I would like a swamp and an island, please. Oh, of course, they immediately rip Caves of Chaos Adventure. Yep, whatever. Okay. Don't these decks play cards that don't kill me? What if, controversial take, they just drew a land once in a tight spot? It's never happened. Never will. Okay, Blue Elemental Blast comes in from the Catacombs. I can take the initiative by casting a spell rather than attacking. That's pretty cool. Plague Engineer on Goblin seems reasonable. Meltdown, we saw Chalice and Chrome Mox. I don't have much faith in Flusterstorm. Thoughtseize is good on turn 1 and bad every other turn. In Days Undoing, I'm going to grind them down to no cards, and I don't want to give them more. Which also means Hullbreacher is worse. Yeah, they just don't do a lot of card drawing. Bowmaster is good because it's 2 creatures that can take the initiative. If I've boarded out all my Days Undoings and their deck doesn't draw cards, Oppo's probably better than Hullbreacher. We saw fetch lands, we saw the initiative. I don't think Ashiok is good because they don't attack or block, but Oppo does. Okay, back in. Smelled the Blood Moon. It happened a turn before I could reasonably do anything about it. I will keep this hand. It has my Fable of the Mirror Breaker in it. Moon me. Do it. I'm going to lead on Prismatic Vista in case I need to grab an island. Emergency island grabbing. Cavern on Human. Chrome Mox. Pitching Minsk and Boo. Glad to see that go. Kind of hope they pitch a Spirit Guide to cast a Magus of the Moon here. Oh no, it's 4 mana. They just have Caves of Chaos Adventure. Uncounterable. Turn 1. I'd keep that hand too. Yep, okay. You have the initiative. My deck does have a bunch of 2 mana removal in it, which means I need to brainstorm now, even if it's not like the full value shuffle. Island, brainstorm now. Meltdown, Force of Negation. And I don't think I'm supposed to brainstorm just in case I hit Force of Negation for the Chrome Mox, though that might have slowed them down a turn. I could brainstorm again now. I could fetch first and then brainstorm. If I brainstorm now, I'm looking at the fetch land, or the basic mountain that I know I don't want, and 2 new cards. I am going to brainstorm first here. I'm kind of interested in Lightning Bolt. Okay. Put back Mountain, Underground Sea. Use the Scalding Tarn to fetch for Volcanic Island. And I'm going to Meltdown. Feel like doing anything to slow them down is how I can reasonably play this game. They're going into the Forge. Now Lightning Bolt's not a draw anymore. They played their land before combat. I hope Caves of Chaos Adventure flips a land. Veil of Summer. Okay, that's a card in your deck. Jeez. This deck is crazy. And I am actually dead if I don't draw a removal spell right now. Even Plague Engineer, because Caves of Chaos Adventure has trample. They 5 me down to... Okay, Casting Veil. They 5 me down to 6. Oh, I'm actually at 1. No, but I have to fetch to do it. Shit. Okay, Ponder's got to find a removal spell here. Sheoldred's Edict qualifies. So you're saying there's a chance. I'm going to let them do their initiative thing first. Okay, fetch. For basic swamp. Sacrifice a non-token creature. And now I'm at 5 life. And I play Fable. They go into Archive, draw an extra card. Then I attack with Goblin Shaman and hopefully get the initiative before I'm dead. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, get in. I just have to force any removal spell or any creature that I can't force. That's how this has to work. You get the extra card here, 5 cards in hand, 4 mana. Humans are uncounterable. Uh-oh. So are something else. Nope, still humans. I can force a Minskin Boo, but there is actual human mana in the pool. And once again, the hope that your opponent simply doesn't have Caves of Chaos Adventure on a turn where they could have Caves of Chaos Adventure is a preposterous ask, and this card is literally always in their hand anytime they have 4 mana. Those are the rules of Magic. And they found a Fury. Okay. Absolutely shit-clowned by this deck. The 80-card Yorion stuff gives you this extra reach when games get grindy, but it is a liability when games are not grindy and your opponent just pummels you. And that is what just happened there. On to the next round. If you're looking to run a CEDH or 1v1 tournament, Eminence Gaming has your back with Command Tower. With Command Tower's intuitive tournament manager dashboard, you can handle decklist submission and player management with just a few clicks. Players just need to scan the event's QR code for access to the full tournament bracket, including seamless pairings and real-time standing updates. Take the guesswork out of tournament organizing. Try Command Tower for your next event. On the draw in round 4 with a bunch of pitch interaction, Force of Will, and Fury, plus cantrips to do stuff. I'm ready for spells, ready for creatures. What could I ever lose to? Sick. Thoughtseize, the nut draw, especially against an Underground Sea start. I just always assume that's combo. Brainstorm over the top of that. Show me your secrets. Have I ever told you all how much I love casting the card Thoughtseize? Okay, this is 4-color Delver. I mentioned earlier that 4 colors kind of out of favor, but here it is right in front of us. Lightning Bolt, Brazen Beam, Murktide Regent. I'm taking Questing Druid. I think this is the best card in their hand. That basic swamp is nice. I am interested what they hid if they left Questing Druid in hand for me to Thoughtseize. That's a little scary. Can I find access to basic island? Not yet. Okay, I'm going to stay chilling here. Play around Wasteland for as long as I can. So they had a second Seek the Beast is what they hid from me. That's fine. Exiled, Force Days, sure. Yeah, let's get those out of the way when I'm not casting a spell anyway. There's Flooded Strand. They could shove Murktide here, but it's a 4/4. Questing Druid's fine. The Force Days in Exile is pretty interesting. Like, I could bolt this thing right now, and then they can force... It costs them... They get to use the Force that's otherwise going to burn off, but they have to spend a card in their hand. But I lose a bolt over that? Yeah, I'm just going to go to my turn. And hit the land anyway. Magic is easy. Basic Mountain, Lightning Bolt, your jerk. That's gone now. I probably want to just ponder while the getting's good here. Basic Island, ponder. Fairly confident this is going to resolve, and I'm not doing anything else in the turn cycle. Basic Island, counterspell, these are cool. Don't shuffle basic islands in my hand now. I can force Murktide Regent. Oh, they're not even playing it. They want to play the flash game with Brazen Borrower, which is going to walk into my counterspell. That's even better for me. I'm not going to reach for Yorion here, which is going to tell them that I have stuff to do. Didn't flash in either. All right, yeah, they're just in full hangout mode. I bet what they have is a Orcish Bowmaster. That would make sense to sit so tight here. Oh, but I also have an Orcish Bowmaster, and they don't have Delirium. Yeah, I'm just not going to bolt this. Okay, my Bowmaster, they do have an instant in the graveyard. They're tapped out of Bolt right now. Okay, Bowmaster, leaving up Counterspell. Ping, you're idiot. That simply worked. Well, it would work if I think the last card in their hand, or one of their 2 unknown cards, is Bowmaster. Okay, I'm going to Counterspell this. I'd like to keep my Bowmaster, or at least make them use a second card on it. If they go Lightning Bolt, Bowmaster, play Murktide, I could force the Murktide. I think if they had Daze, we would have seen it already. Ponder. They did not shuffle Ponder and did not cast a spell. Or play a land. Brazen Borrower, Murktide, 2 mystery cards over there. Ponder while it's good. Well, these are all good cards. I'll take that Baleful Strix right now, please and thank you. Blue-black Strix. That stands in front of Murktide pretty well. And I can pitch Dak to force, or I can pitch Brainstorm to force. Just have to decide which blue card I think is worse in the matchup. Mishra's Bauble, okay. Looking at the top card of my deck. Now you know what that is. They're just going to draw for that. I'm just being patient here. I could have Brainstormed over the top and try to spike a Bowmaster, which would then interact with the draw, but I don't care that much, honestly. And playing Consume right now would kill my Orc army, but it would also force the Murktide to do something. Yeah, I'll shove the Consume. I don't want them to sit on this Murktide until they can defend it, and they're just super happy with everything that happens. Seeking a Beast in the end step, hit Daze Bowmaster, okay. Them finding the land there sucks. Now they could play the Bowmaster from exile, and they can play the Murktide from hand. What am I more worried about? Definitely Murktide, because I'm holding Lightning Bolt for Bowmaster. That's fine. Yeah, I can force right now and get ahead of this Daze that's in exile. Force the Schmurktide. That's finally gone. Ooh, they had a force in their hand, pitching the Brazen Bee. All right. We got a game. Murktide's a 6/6. Bolt does 3, Fury does 4. Oh, Murktide's going to be 7/7, though. Stupid Consumes all. When you think you have a plan, but actually you don't. Yep, Murktide becoming 7/7 materially impacts what I can do this turn. I think I have to kill Murktide, though, or I'm going to die real freaking quick. A Fury pitching a Dak. 4 to Murktide. Bolt Murktide. I will have the biggest creature in play, at least temporarily. And I can put Yorion in my hand. This is a fun game. I wish Consume was I wish the Murktide was 1 point smaller so I could have taken the Bowmaster down with the Fury, but we are something resembling stable here. Consume flips into Hitotsugu. Dak doesn't actually do anything I want to happen. Neither does Ponder. An Orc army getting 1 point bigger doesn't change a lot, but hitting my land drop in any amount of time frame might change a lot. Oh, that's sick. Okay, I'll actually just take these cards, thanks. Okay, they get to ping me with Bowmaster. I'm going to play a Bowmaster of my own. I'm going to hit their Bowmaster, not their Questing Druid. It's just too easy to bolt my Vessel, and then they get to save the Druid. Drawing Lightning Bolt next turn, that could kill that for sure. And by for sure, I mean if they don't cast 3 spells this turn, which is possible. There's 1, taking out Vessel. Okay, I no longer have the biggest creature on board. I'm going to chump Army with Army. Just save a little bit of damage here while leaving good creatures around. I'm drawing Lightning Bolt here. Bolt the Questing Druid. And I'm not going to chump block Orc Army, so I will just attack. Dak can target them with Bowmaster in play, which gives them card selection, which I don't like, and feels their graveyard, which I don't like. But I also have this kind of onboard build your own machine gun. Now they're pondering into my Bowmaster. They're trying to get something going. I'm going to ping their Orc army because then if they attack, I can block and get a trade. They chose to shuffle. They chose to attack as well. If they did find a Bowmaster here, they get the full blowout. All right, we just traded into a stable board. I don't hate that. I'm also pretty confident now that they don't have Bowmaster in their hand, or it would have happened there. Lightning Bolt, okay. I like the idea of having a 4-5 in play. I like more the idea of Dak Fate and starting to fix all my draws forever. Target me. Please don't have Bowmaster. Land Days Undoing. I really don't want to cast Days Undoing this game. I'd rather hit a land drop. I mean, I would love to cast Days Undoing, but I don't currently have it set up, and I don't want to keep a card that is low or no impact. Yeah, grindy. I love that. Okay, Delver, we've seen this before. They have more colors than my previous opponent, which makes Plague Engineer better, and I still brought it in. That also makes Blood Moon better. I'm still not sure I like it, but it is better. Don't really want to be casting Force of Will. Don't want to be casting Days Undoing, especially knowing that they are a Bowmaster deck of their own. That actually doesn't do anything, though, because the turn ends after you draw the 7, and all the Bowmaster triggers just disappear. So that's actually not a concern. It goes the other way, too. Like, you can't 7 your opponent with a Days Undoing off Bowmaster, because the turn ends before those happen. I do still like Hullbreacher as a flash threat. I still have Dak and Prismari Command to do stuff with Hullbreachers. I think I do want to try the Blood Moons against this 4-color deck. They might not be good. They're just not even a useful play from behind, but I'm going to try it. I'm always on the fence on Blood Moon versus Delver. Normally I don't do it. But if they're going to get this greedy, someone's got to punish them or they'll never learn. All 3 basics in my opener. Thoughtseize, Bowmaster, Hullbreacher deck. Once again, I have the perfect curve of doing something every turn, and certainly my opponent will do nothing to disrupt it. Yeah, this deck has fewer 1-drops than the other builds, because they have to cut Delver to make room for all these other things they're doing. And Thoughtseize is a card that I like early in these matchups and hate late, and it's generous of my deck to give me all of them this early. Are there 2 or 3 in the list? There's 2. Yeah, that's what I thought. That is actually all of them. I love that. Just everything coming together, rewarding the honest Grixis Wizard versus the dirty, evil Delver Wizard. Multiple Hydroblasts and Molten Collapse. I'm going to take this Daze. Just let my spells resolve. I don't care about anything else. Misty Rainforest, pass. Hey, what did they hide from me? I want to know. Or I could just cast Bowmaster this turn. Molten Collapse is a sorcery. That can't get the Bowmaster. They might have a Bowmaster of their own, which I'll happily kill. Not with that mana, they don't. And they shuffled away their 3rd card, so whatever the 1 card in their hand is the one that they hid from me on the Brainstorm. And now there is open mana and a Bauble trigger pending. I'm going to send this Bowmaster in. Make them Force of Will it, or Lightning Bolt it. Those are the things they could have here. Or their own Bowmaster. What's the answer? Appears to be nothing, because this Bauble is triggering, and I'm just going to town. Counterspell. God. It's my day. I'm going to Thoughtseize them. And I'm holding up Counterspell. Show me your hand again. Pyroblast, Hydro, Molten Collapse, and Murktide. I mean, I think I just take the Murktide Regent. That's the card that actually hurts me here. If they Molten Collapse my Bowmaster, I can Counterspell it, because they only have 1 red source currently. And then that would also have them tapped out coming into the next turn, where I would like to resolve a blue spell. They're just letting me do stuff. That's even better. Attack. Pretty soon I'll be able to protect Hullbreacher with Counterspell. End step, Seeking the Beast. They cannot currently Pyroblast this. I think that's a good reason to counter it. Their hand is bad, and the interaction I know about is currently not usable. Perfect time to send a Counterspell in. 4-color mana base squeezing them. Who even needs Blood Moon? You just can't cast 2 spells in a turn. Now they have to collapse my Bowmaster, and I've got Hullbreacher, but you are holding Pyroblast up now. Please Pyroblast this Ponder. Consume, no, shuffle this. Narset, okay. I actually like Narset more than I like Hullbreacher, because she's card advantage. And Hullbreacher's an instant, so I can do it on their turn Get that Pyroblast out of the way, untap, jam Narset, start finding more cards. Mountain, Hullbreacher. This is sweet because I'm playing the position that Delver wants to be in the matchup, which is pushing damage while your opponent is on the back of their heels, trying to just stay alive with whatever reactive spells they have. But I am the one playing that game, and they are not. They're the one with a bunch of awkward answers. Bolt, re-Narset. I think re-Narset is better because we know they have multiple Hydroblasts in hand. Orc Army's attacking. Ooh, their own Bowmaster. That was a really good find. And they get a good combat trade here. Who taught them this trick? And they would certainly Hydroblast a Dak here, or else why is that card in your deck? Nothing worth Mystic Sanctuarying at the moment. Their hand is just 2 Hydras. I'll get Volcanic Island and put Yorion in my hand. I hope they slam a Brainstorm here. Oh wow, just scooping to the Narset. Okay, 1 round to go, positive records locked, let's do it. We're a few rounds into the video, thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play in the final round. Soft to Wasteland, but we don't mulligan Ponders in this house. I'm going to get Underground Sea and cast Ponder, and my opponent will think I'm a combo deck because Bloodstained Mire, Underground Sea, Ponder is a combo start. Just throw me 3 lands. 0 lands. Okay, I'll shuffle that. Land? Uh-oh. Okay, don't Wasteland me. Cycling Street Wraith. Okay. They are Wasteland deck then. If this is Death Shadow or Scam. Oh. Once upon a time. Oh, is this Hogak? Haven't seen that in a while. Okay, they looked at 6 cards and found a land to play for the turn. Incubation. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from them and put it into your hand. Okay. They are doing something crazy over there. Found a Street Wraith that they are cycling right now. They're still a discard short of a hollow one. I hope I draw a land that casts Ponder here, because I'd like to Ponder and also Thoughtseize. Man, life is easy. Okay, Thoughtseize first, then I can know what to do with this Ponder. Bloodbraid Marauders. Okay, something insane. A card I've never read. Whale of the Forgotten. Descend to 8. If there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard as you cast a spell, choose 1 or more instead. Bounce an on-land permanent. Target opponent discards a card. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 in your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Okay. I think Bloodbraid Marauder is my fight here. They do have Delirium. They do have Force backup. I guess. What are they cascading into, and how bad does it kill me? Oh, is this Living End? That would be sick. I mean, I can't take them off Marauder here or Force blue card. They have a backup blue card for Force. They have a backup Marauder. I guess I'm going to take this Whale of the Forgotten, and then I'm going to cast Ponder. Orcish Bowmaster, land. This is... I mean, I do want these lands, but this is not going to be good enough fast enough. Shuffle for Dak Faden. Yeah, having double Marauder there is going to get me. Living End. My best hope is if they spend time Grizzly salvaging and they don't immediately commit to the Living End. They cannot be fooled. Okay. Right on top of the deck, too. Gave me no additional info. So here they get 2 Street Wraiths and the Marauder. I guess I was supposed to at least draw the Force out with the Force there. Whoops. I was just busy losing. Fury is not the worst card I've ever seen, but it also doesn't help that much. I'll be taking 6 a turn if this happens, and I think Fable is better than Dak as far as if I hit my next land, what I want to happen. Kill a Wraith. Opponent correctly did not try to force this because it doesn't matter. They're still winning. That's like a 2 for -1. I spent 2 cards answering a card that already drew them a card and then came into play for free attached to another creature. Yeah, you don't need to force that. What's the rush? Once Upon a Time, hard cast. Pound Pluto Delta. Come on, land to have any chance at all. Sheoldred's Edict. Alright. Sacrifice a non-token creature, please. And also just killing all their creatures and making them Living End again when I have Fury. That's a line. Maybe. But if they Grizzly salvage successfully, their graveyard's going to be a lot better than mine. I go to 8, and this creature is super unblockable. I have 2 swamps. Animate dead. Cut it out. And they're taking my Fury. Nasty. And Mystic Sanctuary is not it. Okay. Sweet deck. I got to bring in Graveyard Hate and Flusterstorm. Weird to play against 2 Cascade decks in the same Legacy League. No, that's literally 2 modern decks here. I can't go too crazy in the direction of attacking the graveyard. I have to imagine this deck jukes somehow. Lightning Bolt seems pretty mediocre. I like my forces. Days Undoing is passive Graveyard Hate, which is kind of really funny here, and I might actually be interested in. I don't think I'm interested in Annoying with Affliction. Maybe one Days Undoing stays in. I know I've boarded at least one of those out in every round. I just really don't like those cards. And I don't think I want to introduce From the Catacombs and the initiative against this attacking deck. 0 lands, mulligan. Lands and a hand that does very little. Keep. Welcome to Grixis, baby. Do I want to get rid of a Strix or a Hullbreacher? I think it's Hullbreacher. Strix being redraw is at least something for me. I'm excited about their turn 1. Their last one was so cool. Cycled Wraith, Crack to Fetch. Once Upon a Time. This is the same turn that they had last game. This is 3 for Delirium already, and then Incubation is the 4. Grief. Okay, I mean, Grief is pretty bad against my hand. I have no specific piece of interaction. They pitched a Whale of the Forgotten. They take Dak here, because if they take Strix, it comes back in the living end. Incubation, that is Delirium. Got Architects of Will, which is an artifact, or Delirium also, as well as a creature. I don't think this deck is going to attack my mana. I'm just going to get the best mana I can and cast a spell with the cantrips. Okay, it drew 2 cards that turn. They were both lands. Not what I wanted. Animate Dead targeting Grief. That takes a Baleful Strix. Because it has to. I at least get some value if they living end. Okay, deck. We can chill with the lands at this point. Attacking with Strix. It can't block anyway. Get in there, little birdie. Show them who's boss. In for 2. Sudden Edict. Okay. That is a interactive magic card. Sudden Edict does target. If we find ourselves in a spot where they decide that it's worth cascading, I can Edict myself and get a second Strix out of the deal. Not particularly hyped about it, but I'm just saying it's there. They cycled the Architects, they cycled a Troll, got a Bayou. There's the Bayou. I don't think I'm going to cast the Sudden Edict yet. I can take 2, but I'd rather draw a card if they do stuff. And now I have to decide. Just going to go to my turn. Come on, Ashiok. Ugh. Deck is determined to kill me here. I mean, I guess I just cast Yorion, which gives them a big juicy birdie to kill with a living end, in addition to my small juicy birdie. Also gives me a redraw, which was, of course, another land. And now Grief can't effectively attack anymore. Or I guess I would still trade with Baleful Strix. Colossal Sky Turtle, buying back Once Upon a Time. Okay, that looks like the play of someone who specifically wants access to the Bloodbraid Marauder. And they're going to get 6 looks at it right now. They draw for turn, and then they can hardcast that card. Or are we in cast Street Wraith phase of the game? I don't even know what all the cards in this deck are. Okay, Once Upon a Time. Don't show me a Marauder. Ugh! Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of looks at that card. Now I actually have a really annoying decision to make, because if I block the Grief, they get it back. And they can just put all the damage on Yorion and they don't even kill anything. So I just have to take 2. And then they cascade, they get Colossal Sky Turtle, 2 Troll of Khazad-dûm, Street Wraith, and I get Baleful Strix. Look out, here I come. They also get to arrange the top of my deck. I have a Ponder. There's not a sweeper in this deck. There's no Damnation, Toxic Deluge that I'm drawing into here. I think the ship came and went on this one. Okay, a Swamp. I'm going to cast a Ponder. I found a Brainstorm, a Fury, and an Orcish Bowmaster. Brainstorm, 1, 2, 4. I guess I take the... If I take Fury, I'm just dead, because Trolls are unblockable, Street Wraith's unblockable. this flies. Yeah, all these things are unblockable. GG. Really cool deck. A positive record with Yorion Grixis, aka LeoPile. And we basically proved kind of what we already knew, which is that Yorion control decks are really good against other fair decks, and they can be pretty soft against combo decks. And that bore out smoothly. And by combo, I am loosely including Initiative if we consider Cavern of Souls, 3 Spirit Guides, Caves of Chaos Adventure a combo, which, I mean, that's built closer to Belcher than it is to Red Prison. I don't know. I mean, not that I'm calling Initiative a combo deck, but as far as the structural thought process you have to have about what can my deck do on turn 1 or 2 against somebody doing something very powerful and disruptive, the Yorion decks are always softer to that. But this deck is sweet. It's full of exciting cards. I'm still suspicious of Anoint with Affliction. Orcish Bowmaster is so good for Grixis. Obviously, the card's good everywhere, but specifically in Grixis control, this gives you a real creature that can attack for real damage on a reasonable clock. We used to have to win with Baleful Strix. Those of you who are around for that era, they know. Fable the Mirror Breaker is actually just a busted Magic card, and I wonder if you back off of Days Undoing a little bit and free up some of these Hullbreacher spots. Having 2, 3, maybe even 4 Fables might be the right number. Gives you a ton of card selection, extra mana, protection from Blood Moon, a card that you're actually playing yourself. I feel like we could get a few more of these in here, especially in the Yorion thing, because this is another permanent with Yorion synergies. It might be better than the Hitotsugu Consumes All. Those are pretty slow. Like, we don't really need to destroy 1-drops in this deck because we have so much removal. Other than, like, Chalice of the Void Chrome Mox. Those are the kind of 0 and 1-drops we need to destroy, not Delver and Dragon's Rage Channeler. This is not how we stabilize against those cards. Consume might be necessary versus Urza Saga. It is really good against those. We didn't play any of those matchups. That still feels like a sideboard card to me, where Fable feels like I might play 6 of them in this deck if I was allowed. That's my feedback for that. I always love playing Grixis Control. I love playing dirtily Yorion nonsense. Love having Leo hanging around the Discord talking about Yorion Grixis stuff all the time. I'm going to leave that here. Everyone, thanks for watching. Leo, thanks for sharing your deck. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.